So here in Seattle, we ended the mask mandate about 2 weeks ago. Things have been going back to normal. A lot of stores have gone back to opening 24 hours. And I want to say I kind of miss the quarantine environment, though, for two things. First of all, I'm really anxious about the idea that we might have to travel again. It's kind of weird, but I used to love traveling. I'll let you think about why I'm anxious about traveling. There's at least two reasons. Number one, there's been a lot of people getting into air rage on the planes. I think lately it's not been so bad. Last year on the news, it seemed like every week somebody was getting into a major fight on a plane. Somebody was getting hospitalized every week, it seemed like, over something like that. But I have anxiety as it is, and also I have some health concerns, and sometimes I have to tell the person next to me various things. And I got a little bit anxious about how I'm going to inform people on the plane and how people are going to take it and all that. And then I get very anxious about loud noises, right? Imagine I tell somebody to accommodate me in a certain way, and they raise their voice. I really despise that. I've even had flight attendants who have raised their voice on me. One time I had to sit somewhere else because the guy next to me refused to accommodate me. And it turned out the seat that I switched to was an economy plus, and that upset the flight attendant. And I very calmly explained to her that I have allergies, and the guy next to me wasn't very accommodating. And she says, well, I can offer to talk to that guy. And I said, well, go ahead, I'll sit here until you come back. And she was raising her voice, and I ended up saying, well, I can talk to your captain if that's what you want. And so she got the captain over, and the captain was okay with me switching the seats. So that was good. But that was on a good day, right? When I'm already anxious about COVID-19 and all the other crap that happens with COVID-19, that could be a little bit dramatic, right? The other reason I really loved the COVID-19 environment, this one I still get to enjoy, is that when I put on a mask, it makes it so much easier to discuss some of these things, right? If I have to go up to the flight attendant again and talk about how the guy next to me doesn't appreciate food allergies, and I might be nervous, but she might not be able to see it, right? So I'll probably continue to wear my mask for as long as I can get away with it. But to give you an idea of how anxious I am about the traveling, I used to get really envious at colleagues or people close to me going on vacation. But over the last year and a half, it seems to be the other way around. I would hear people around me going on vacation, and I would be, oh, thank God I don't have to deal with that, right? You can go on the vacation for me, right? It almost feels like how we humans don't want to risk our lives going to Mars and Jupiter, so we send probes up there to do it for us, right? I can send people around me to go on the vacation on my behalf and get to enjoy it remotely, right? It really does feel like that sometimes. But the other reason I am anxious about going on vacation is that over the last 2 years, I've changed a number of lifestyle habits, and some of these habits will be very difficult to maintain in a vacation kind of environment. So I did intermittent fasting, and one of the reasons I started intermittent fasting 2.5 years ago now was that my eating was out of control. I lost a job 3 years ago over this. I would be in the middle of a meeting and just have out-of-control food cravings. Now, what's really funny is I was talking to some friends of mine about this problem, and my friends asked, well, what foods were you craving? And I can't even remember. I just know that there would be certain times when the urge to eat something was just otherworldly almost. I had a time when I was living in New York City. My girlfriend had come to visit from another city, and it was 2 a.m, and I just had to get out of the apartment to get a seaweed snack, if I remember correctly. Now, the very first day of quarantine, back in March of 2020, I went to the store to get some of my favorite kielbasa sausages to take my mind off of what was going on, and I went to several stores looking for it. My mom called me that day, and she was worried if I had toilet paper, and she was going to overnight me some toilet paper. I didn't want her to worry, though. I certainly didn't want her to go into a crowded post office, and so I said, don't worry about it. And as I was talking to my mom, I was asking one of the store employees, like, when are you going to get the next package of kielbasa sausages? And I insisted she search on her computer when it was going to come. That's how crazy. That's how crazy I was. Although you got to understand our state of mind at the time, right? But I wasn't worried about toilet paper, right? I would go to the shower to wash up every time I went to the bathroom. That didn't seem to bother me. But not having the kielbasa sausages bothered me a heck of a lot more. Now the problem with traveling is that when I travel overseas, see, part of the way I get around fasting is I remind myself that I'm only 16 hours or 20 hours or whatever number of hours away from my favorite food. The problem with traveling is that there are certain foods that are available over there that are not back home, right? So the same strategy may not work too well, right? So when I hear my colleagues or my clients at the tutoring center go to Hawaii or Las Vegas or better yet, go to Taiwan. Oh my God, you could go on my behalf, right? I never felt that way before.